Hi, this is Wodem W0TM, which are my ham radio call letters, by the way, for those of you that don't know that. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't sleep, so I thought I'd get up and do a brief video. Title of this is The Election is Over. The election is over. It's 2 months away, but the election is over. Let me tell you why. Uh, the powers that be, FEMA, those above them, the people who control the puppets like Obama and Hillary and so forth, the 13 families who control and own 95% of this world have decided that Donald Trump has an actual chance of winning in a fair vote. So they've decided to just not let that happen. You can tell that's this is not the first time that an election has been decided by other than the voters. That's gone on for, you know, thousands of years, ever since age of Rome, when they actually had a democracy. But more recently, several things or several elections occurred. One was a recent one, just within the last few days. John McCain running in a primary in Arizona from uh, a they checked and found that he was 30 points behind just by polling people in general on the street, telephone calls, whatever. Um, they Anyway, he ended up winning by 9 points, a swing from minus 30 to plus 9 within just a few days. That isn't possible. Um, John McCain, I don't have a high regard for in the first place. Those of you that have followed him know that in Vietnam he was a prisoner, color prisoner, for 7 years. During that time, he was a male Hanoi Hilt, Hanoi Jane, I guess you might, Tokyo Rose, so forth. His voice was slightly disguised, but he did audio for the Vietnamese. And I'm sorry about the video. I thought it was going to be nice and clear, but it's not. Anyway, he was treated very well during his campaigns. The only other prisoners who would say anything nice about him or even campaign for him were the several other, well, I'll use a blunt word, traitors who worked with him to cost American lives, or were paid many thousands of dollars to do campaign ads on his behalf. You may be aware he did graduate from the Naval Academy, where he finished in his class dead last. He did graduate, barely, dead last. That doesn't speak very highly of him, but he's been in the tank for a long, long time, much like somebody like a John Kerry, who it was planned far in advance. His 3-month tour in Vietnam, um, where people that served with him said he wasn't shot. He got a scratch on the boat we were on, but he never even got shot at. That's fine. That's what they said. And people have testified that. 3 months, he spent a total of 3 months over there, and they say he had one trip on a PT boat, where he claimed that he got shot. He took 3 days to even report that he had been shot and injured. He didn't, receive even treatment. He put a Band-Aid on it, but he still got a Purple Heart. He was decorated for it. He was sent home, released from service after serving just a short period of time. 3 months later, he was testifying before a congressional committee, which is not easy to do. Who picks the people that get to do that? Well, he did, and he gave a scathing report of all kinds of missions that he said he was on, where he witnessed small children being burnt alive, buildings or villages being burnt to the ground, with the people being herded into their huts, and just went on and on and on. No one that served with him said, or they said they were not allowed to testify. They are asked to testify. This appeared in various magazines. Several of these people disappeared. I won't make any comment on that, but they did make comments in magazines that got published. I believe one person wrote a book. It's been so long ago I can't remember it, but saying that he never got out of his safe barracks, which was in the safest base in Vietnam, except for once on his PT cruise, which the people that went with him, military men, other soldiers, said it almost seemed to be arranged. They went out, did a couple loops, came back, and then all these stories started coming about. Things have been set up for a long time. Now, with actual polling data, not ABC, NBC, CBS, DNC, so on and so forth, doing their own polling, showing that Hillary is polling ahead. You go to a Hillary campaign rally, they have to pay people to fill seats. The DNC, well, I won't get into all that. You've heard it all on other videos. But you've seen probably videos of a few of her rallies. She doesn't do many of them. There'd be like maybe 80 people there, including all of her staffers. Every Trump rally is sold out. They're gymnasiums. I don't care what the venue is, it's packed. There are people standing outside trying to get inside, screaming and yelling, jumping up and down, holding signs. They're all excited at the, you can go to Craigslist and actually find ads looking that, they don't hide it. It says paid actors, Hillary supporters needed $50, and I can point you to the Craig ads. there's a couple of YouTube videos out that have it, showing the Craigslist ads, $50 to fill up a seat. You're only required to stand up and cheer whenever a sign is held up saying "Stand up, cheer." You know, that says a lot. Anyway, on an actual poll done independently, shows Hillary 70 points behind. The only ones she has are the people that, I believe, if you have a D next to your name, you get the vote, no matter what. You can be anybody. You can rob convenience stores, and if you have a D next to your name, you're going to get voted for. Or, unfortunately, I have to say, it's not their fault. It's 50 years of conditioning, mostly minorities, mostly blacks. They've taken the brunt, and I really feel sorry for them because they've not had the opportunities as much as whites in the United States, or as much as many people. You've heard all of the statistics on the Hannity show and others. Those are real. You can verify them. The number of blacks that own homes is just dropped like a rock. The number of ones that are employed just dropped like a rock. You go on and on and on. You can't name one thing that Obama has done for minorities, Hispanics, blacks, other minorities, that has helped them during his 8 years in office. Trump is just asking, well, it can't get any worse. Just give me a try. It doesn't work out, but give me a try. And but it looks like, especially based on that totally thrown primary election in Arizona, and it wasn't the only one. There's been many of them. A 39-point swing in a couple of days isn't possible. In the 2012 election, just as an example, the Republican poll watcher in a small precinct, so small where the voting was done by paper ballot, and he knew such a small county and district, he knew every person, and he knew who they were voting for. And he was one of the people, a Democrat and a Republican, sitting right there, counting the ballots. It was set up at the time, they wanted, I'm trying to remember, I think they wanted Romney to win and McCain to lose. It turned out McCain got one vote. There was 100 votes cast for Republicans, and McCain got one vote. Romney got 99. After the election, he was either allowed or got into or whatever, looked at the actual results of his county. It was just reversed. It showed McCain winning 99 and Romney winning one vote. That was just plain old voter fraud. And voter fraud goes on all across the country. It goes back to Nixon. Nixon was told by his staff or by people higher up. The quote I think was, "Yes, you did win. Um, we can contest this. The country can be in turmoil for several months, but please don't. We will guarantee you will have your chance." And he did. In 1968, he won the presidency, but in 1960, when he should have, over JFK, and I have nothing against JFK, he was a president for a short period of time. There's all kinds of controversy over that, how he was shot and who shot him and so forth. That's a whole different subject. But the next election, if we get to that election, personally, I just have a feeling we're not going to even have an election. We're going to have something happen which will cause Obama to declare martial law and, for the good of the country, say, I will continue is running the office of president. I will not be technically the president, but, well, in fact, he'll be the king. He'll say, well, until further notice, until we get things calmed down, we're going to have it will be military law, and the Constitution is suspended, and his secret executive orders that he has a whole stack of will all be made public, and it will be more rigid, more controlled than Nazi Germany, as an example, ever was. If you are a white Christian conservative, the chances of my feeling, you're either going to be dead or end up in a FEMA camp. I really hope you have your 6 months worth of provisions and firearms, and you're ready for what's ahead of us. I may be paranoid. That's fine. If you want to put a comment down below saying you're paranoid, you're nutty, and so forth, that's fine. I don't care. It's not going to change my opinion one bit, nor will it change the opinion of others who agree with me. So the election's been decided, but it's not by the people. It's by those much higher up who have decided this Trump guy, we just can't get rid of him. You know, he's had 4 assassination attempts. Only one of them has been made public, and that has then been debunked as made up. But he's had 4 that are real, and he's had a very good security staff. His family has a very good security staff. He's not a dumb man, you know. In the corporate world that he has, he's had assassination attempts before in his life. It's nothing new to him. And he's willing to take the chance. You know, God bless him as far as I'm concerned. He has more courage than I do, more courage than a lot of people. Can he win? He should. He's winning handily right now. Will he win if we get to the election, November, whatever the date is? No, I don't think we're going to get there. We're going to be in a royal mess with these closed Walmart stores being processing centers, and FEMA camps, by the way, are already filling up. If you happen to live in California, you know where the areas are where all the homeless people push their shopping carts around and live and so on and so forth. take a drive over to that area. You'll see the shopping carts. They're still there. You'll see the tents. They're still there. Look for the homeless people. Get out of your car. Walk around. Look for homeless people. If you do, they're going to be recent arrivals. The homeless people are now in FEMA camps that are now filling up. There's 800 and some planned FEMA camps. You can find a list of where those camps are on YouTube. They're not all being filled up right now. There's less than a dozen. For instance, the one in California, there's one in Ohio, there's several others that are being filled up, and it's almost all homeless people. People that, you know, they really have, they've been abandoned by their families. They don't, you know, they can be missed. So the camps are filling up, and quite frankly, they're probably assuming the worst is not happening, and I don't believe it is right now. Will it ever? I don't know. They're probably getting decent food and recreation and a bed to sleep in, so I don't feel too sorry for them. Other than homeless, many of the people preferred, if you go ask them, if you did, when they were there, do you prefer to be homeless? There's a homeless shelter right down the street. I'll drive you down there. Most of them say no. They like their they like their independence, and many homeless shelters, from the Salvation Army to you name it, every night, or most nights, have empty beds, even though a few hundred feet away are homeless people lying in the street or lying on a sidewalk on a mat made out of cardboard or whatever, but to them, they prefer that. They're free, they feel, and they prefer their independence. So things are not as they appear to be, but what else is new? The world is not what it appears to be. I used to use that as a motto in one of the corporations that I had. In fact, that corporation's still in existence, and I'm going to gin it back up again, called, silly name, crazy name, Infinite Dangers, Inc. Manufactured products for, back when I thought I was doing good work for, I'm an electrical engineer, and a fairly good one, I think, built beyond, I'd say beyond state of the art, picking up voices through, like picking up the vibration of window glass and being able to decipher that of voices inside a room. Well, guess where that came from? That came from my corporation way back when. I've done other things like that, RFID plants that have been placed in offices, buildings, so on and so forth. You hit it with RF, you hit it with energy, and the thing turns on and will transmit audio. I even did a couple of video ones, so I did beyond, I'd say beyond state-of-the-art technology, and I'm starting it up again, but I'll guarantee you it's not going to go to the same people. It's going to be used to try to help us out of the mess that we're in. Whether or not I'll get anything done, I don't know. I'm working on it now. I've got some things in process, and we'll see what happens. By the way, my Morgellons videos, I put those on hold for right now, mainly because some things have happened that were working for a while, and I even gave kind of a testimonial for a liquid that stopped my Morgellons cold for about 2 weeks, but it has come roaring back, and I've got these darn Morgellon wadded up fibers coming out of my skin again. So I've got to rethink everything, do more testing. I'll get all that done, and then do another video. And I don't like doing videos where I've got to do a redo and say what I did was not correct. I do not like that. So I'm going to take the time to do it right. So anyway, if you think your vote was going to count in November, if there is an election, you can forget that. The election's already been decided. Hillary has her special equipment where she can take one step up on it. She's walking around with her colostomy bag under her. She wears in 100-degree heat, you know, she's walking around wearing these heavy, great big coats and hats and so on. There's a reason for all that. It's medical. Even the Secret Service has turned on her, but she has nobody else to depend on to protect her, so she can't fire them all, or she would. She's probably fired a few of them. I don't know, but her doubles, and as you know, making doubles these days, making clones, is quite easy. They're now down to, they had 4 to begin with. I said this in another video. They're down to 2. I don't even know if the real Hillary is still alive. With all the blood clots and Alzheimer's and dementia and other things going on with her. They are pushing, you know, they're going day by day to the finish line, the finish line being the election coming up. They've got to keep one of them alive some way. It's almost like what that movie Breakfast at Bernie's, you know, where that guy is dead, but they're making him look like he's alive. They've got to get a Hillary still alive to the election, assuming election happens. And whether or not that is, I don't know. But election's been decided. Hillary won. Civil war starts the day afterwards. And we have a hell of a mess, pardon my French, from then on out. And heaven forbid, I hope you are prepared. This is W0TM Wodum signing off. Thank you very much for subscribing, as usual. And it's 3 a.m. I'm still wide awake. May do another video, probably not. See you later. Take care. Bye-bye.